Welcome to episode 554 of the podcast. Today we're going to take a detour from the previous episode the previous topics that we've been examining. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you know that the last 5-6 episodes have been devoted to the issues of customer retention and how we can use customer satisfaction and customer success to make sure that people are happy doing business with us. And the end goal of that, of course, is to make sure that they come back and do business with us again, and also that they bring some referrals along. Because if we have more repeat business and we have more referrals, then the process of staying in business is a lot easier, because you don't have to go out and hustle. We don't have to go out and hustle sales every single day, and so life just becomes easier when you have a core group of people who are loyal, who buy from you repeatedly, and also who bring people along. So it takes pressure off the selling and marketing function of the business. So we're going to take a detour today to examine something else that I think is topical. But this is just going to be one episode, this detour, and then after that, we're going to get back to customer retention, customer satisfaction, and customer success. I received a message recently that kind of typifies how most people go about selling in today's day and age. Now, in today's day and age, with the prevalence of technology, it's very easy to copy and paste. And so, because it's easy to copy and paste and send to 1,000 people or 100,000 people, people have fallen into bad communication habits. And that's because it's easy to spam and people don't see the detriments of it up front. Now, I already made an episode, I think it was called The Best Way to Ruin Your Business in 2023 or something like that. So if this is your first time of listening to the podcast, after you're done listening to this episode, scroll and listen to that, and you're going to get a sense of how bad things can get if you let bad communication practices, especially spamming, if you let them get out of hand. So I think the episode was called The Best Way to Ruin Your Business in 2023 or something like that. But bottom line is, if you check the episodes that we have before this one, scroll down, look for anything that has communication in the title, that has spam in the title, spamming, all those kind of derivatives. You should be able to get a sense of what my opinions on the matter are. Now, I received a message this morning not this morning anyway, because I've been a little late on responding to my messages. So it's an email that I received, one moment, let me check, 5 days ago. So I received this email 5 days ago, and it goes like this. Hello, do you need Google My Business listing optimization? Do you want to buy Google reviews? We would like to propose our Google My Business listing optimization service and Google reviews to help your business increase visibility and reach more customers online. Google My Business is a powerful tool for local businesses to promote their services and products and show up in Google search results and maps. However, it requires a well-optimized listing to take full advantage of its capabilities. Optimizing your Google My Business listing will help you rank higher in Google's local search results, making it more likely for potential customers to find you. Please let us know if you want to see prices or you have any questions. Best regards, and the fellow scientist's name or her name. Let me not assume that most spammers are guys, because I'm sure that you ladies can take the blame too for spam activity. Okay, now, from the little that we have learned in primary school, for those of us who are Nigerians, in our English classes, this is a very good well-crafted business email or business communication or whatever it is. Now, if you have been listening to the podcast for a while, you will recall that I've said that it's not everything that we were taught in school or that is good academic practice or good communication practice that carries on to business communication and real-world applications. Now, one of them that you will notice if you've been listening to the podcast for you've been listening to podcasts for a while, you realize that in the past I've spoken about how the modern man, the modern person, uses text-based communications. The modern person is not reading. So the reason why you know the content of this email is because I took the time out to read it to you, because it's a podcast episode and I'm trying to flesh something out through this. But the chances are, if you personally, dear listener who is listening right now, receive this email, you would have opened and you'd have seen, hello, do you need, and then you'd have deleted the message. You'd skim through and delete. Some of you would skim through and spam, and there are some people like my wife and my mom who won't even open. You just hit spam immediately from the what's it called? When you're looking at your email and all you can see is sender and subject. So from that page, because the subject just says you've received a new message. So folks like my wife, my mom, and some of you who are listening will probably just see sender high level business marketing blah 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 at gmail.com. Well, that's a really long email address, by the way, and you would have just seen that and just thought spam and then select and then delete. So let's assume that you're able to get past this first stage of people not spamming you in the subject window. Okay, no, let's get back to that. So first off, your subject. You need to look for a subject that gives people a sense of why you're reaching out in the first place, and a subject that is slightly relevant to what it is that they do. So in this case, instead of you have received a new message, what if the person put a subject like, do you need help with Google My Business listings? Okay, yeah, that's better. Now, that would be fairly relevant because I do have a Google My Business listing, and so it's something that I might be interested in. So, for someone like this, if they had done their research ahead of time, yes, it would make sense to send this message to me, but not to my mom or to my wife, because neither of them, or my brother, neither of them use Google My Business listings, because they don't have businesses that they market online. One more thing, if any of you want to know some more about Google My Listing, I also have an episode that I recorded early this year that goes into some detail about why using Google My Business is a good way to attract business. So when you're done listening to this, that's also another episode that you can listen to. Just scroll down and look for Google My Business in the topic, and it will flesh out exactly what Google My Business is and how it can help you in your business. And if you have a podcast player like what's it called? There's one that I use, Pocket Cast. Yeah. So if you have Pocket Cast, I think if you have iTunes, those ones allow you to search in app. So instead of scrolling through my whole podcast feed to find that particular episode, all you have to do is just use the search bar there and search within the podcast for Google My Business, and then the episode that I recorded will come out, and you'll be able to listen to that. So, where was I? Okay, so first practice, subject. You need a subject that will get their attention and that is relevant to them. And so, a compelling subject might have been, do you need help with Google My Business listings? That might be something that a business owner like me, who is actively trying to promote the business online, might be prone to clicking on. Then on the sender part, all these funny email addresses, high level business marketing, Gmail, blah, 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 blah. This is rather long. It's the kind of thing that we're used to. We expect that people who are spammy will have all these funny, strange email addresses. So why not pick something a lot simpler? Like for me, it's just my name, and that's how I've optimized my email service providers. So when I show up in your inbox, if I send you an email, it's going to be Tavishima Ayede. So it shows that this is obviously a person, not high level business marketing, something, 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 something. This dreadfully long email address. So let's get the name right. Let's get a compelling subject, and that should help to give you much more opens. Now, to the substance of the message itself. While my English teacher might have been impressed with what this fellow composed, from a sales perspective, it's self-defeating because there are too many questions. Hello, do you need my Google My Business listing optimization? Do you want to buy Google reviews? Blah, 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 blah. Question, 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 question. Those are just too many questions. pretend that you're having a conversation with your friend, your brother, your spouse. If you rattle off a list of questions, chances are the person is not going to answer anyone in particular precisely because you rattled off 5 or 6 questions. I mean, which one do you want the person to answer? If this were a real live conversation, you start off by saying, do you need Google My Business listings optimization? And you'd stop and you'd wait for a response. The person would respond, you guys would have a back and forth, you'd have some sort of a conversation, and then you would now go on to the second question. Would you like to buy Google reviews? And you'd keep quiet and you'd wait for a response. The person would respond, you guys would engage in a bit of a conversation, and that's how you'd be able to go through all your questions. And after you ask all these questions, because they are important, because we need to know if people have a problem that we can solve before we do business with them. So it's important that you ask these questions. But you have to remember that the process is the same when it comes to email. When it comes to sales, we are trying to engage people in a conversation, no matter what the medium might be. So I preach and I prefer that you pick up the phone, but it's the same if you pick up an email. You're trying to engage people in a conversation. So it might be bad practice, and your English teacher will be appalled if you send an email that just has one sentence in it saying, do you need Google My Business listings optimization? Well, I think we should remove that optimization anyway. How about making it, do you need help with your Google My Business listing? Question mark. That is perfectly fine today as business communication. Now, if you send that message out to 1,000 people, chances are a lot of them would ignore. Maybe 800 might ignore. A couple of people might spam you. But the thing is, you might get 1 or 2 people who say, yes, I need help with Google My Business listings, with my Google My Business. And then perfect. Those are the people that you're looking for, and those are the people that you want to have a conversation with. That has opened up the window for you to start engaging in a conversation with them, and hopefully at the end of it, you're going to be able to get some sales. But if you send this wall of texts, hello, do you need Google My Business listings? Do you want to buy Google reviews? Do you want to this? Do you want to that? Do you want to, we are the best, we are the greatest, my business listing, my optimization service, my powerful tool, help you promote service product, blah, 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 blah. This is just so many paragraphs. It's a wall of text. You're not going to get lots of people to respond. Okay, I've already done 12 minutes so far going over this, and I don't want to flog it to death. But I guess what it is that I'm trying to say is, it's not about just coming up with a perfectly crafted email. That means that you're going to get a response. There are a couple of things you need to pay attention to. Number one, provide a subject. Make sure it's something that is relevant to the person that you're talking to, or something that's likely to pique their interest. Number two, try and tidy up your profile so that when you send your email, it's not the whatever. Okay, let's say, like my sister-in-law, her email address used to be butterscup hot scotch chick or something like that. I can't remember. So let's say you have one of those email addresses. There's a way that you can you tidy up your. Gosh, I should have paid attention to all these things. The problem is I just did it once and then I forgot. So there's a way that you can set everything up so that when you send your email, what shows in the sender is not butterscotch hot cup chick 86, but rather it'll be your name that will be there as Kelechi Hamadi. So get all those things sorted out. At the very least, have a nice, short, professional sounding email address, if nothing else. Make sure that you've got the subject locked down. And if you're going to open up your email with questions, remember that you're trying to engage people in the conversation. So don't ask tons of questions all at once. Ask one question that you think gets to the heart of what it is, the heart of your intention, the reason why you're reaching out in the first place. And then see who responds. For people who ignore you, that's fine. But for the people who respond, those are the kinds of people that you want to be having conversations with. And so remember that the goal when using email and text-based communications from a business perspective, from a modern business perspective, is not to spam people. The modern person is not reading this wall of text that you have sent. It is to try and engage them in a conversation. It's perfectly fine for your email to be one line and to be a question. For those of you who are still in uni listening to this podcast, do not try that. Your teacher is going to give you an F. So follow whatever rules that your English teacher, your grammar teacher, your diction teacher has given you. But when you come out into the business world, it's perfectly fine for you to send a message that just says, do you need Google My Business listing? Or do you need a wedding planner for your upcoming wedding? Question mark. That's okay to try and attract business. Some people will ignore. Some people will say, no thanks. My sisters and my auntie are planning my wedding. And somebody might respond and say, it depends. How much do you charge? And that's the intro that you need. Now you're going to be able to have a conversation with that person. Yeah, so that's it. Let me just put this detour to a close because we've gone on for 15 minutes. And thank you very much for listening to today's episode. At the next episode, we'll be back on discussing customer retention issues, how to keep people loyal, how do you make sure that they're happy, how do you make sure that they were successful with the brand promise of your product or your service. So thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next recording. And remember that you guys can reach out to me wherever you choose and ask me anything. I'll be glad to respond to your questions, not just in your inbox, but also make that a podcast episode as well, so that other people can get to benefit from our interactions. So thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next recording.